Welcome, everybody. This is Jason, and the name of this week's workshop is Think Inside the Box Part 2. This is a workshop about creating accessory boxes. We've looked at the way to do it manually, and this week we're going to look at how to do it with DBPF Scripter. So let's have a look. How easy is it to use DBPF Scripter to automate accessory box creation? It takes a bit of practice, but once you've learned the procedure, it's actually very easy. What are the pros of generating accessories using DBPF Scripter? So you have fewer errors and a faster build time. Prior to the DBPF Scripter method, each accessory had to be configured manually, and that's a lot more prone to errors. To get started, the first thing that we need is DBPF Scripter version 1.8. And I recommend, at the time of this workshop, 1.8 is the latest version. It has a few features that make it a bit more user-friendly for beginners. I'll put the link on the screen. It's also in the resource post. In addition, we need an overlay box template. And that's linked on the DBPF Scripter page, but I've also thrown that up on the screen here. And we just need accessories with box version 1. Go ahead and download that. So we've got DBPF Scripter, we've got our script, and we're ready to go. So to edit the script, and this is if you're using Excel, if you're using a different thing like OpenOffice or LibreOffice or what have you, the procedure is probably a little bit different, or it might not even allow you to use macros. But for Excel, we need to enable macros. So we take our XLSM, we right click on that, and we go to Properties. So in the General tab, we look down at the very bottom, there's this unblock. So by default, if it's a new file that Windows doesn't recognize, it's in overprotective mother mode. So it's going to be blocked by default. We need to check that unblock and then OK and close to enable the macros. Then the first time that you open the document, it's also going to say macros have been disabled. We need to click on Enable Content. The first thing that we do here, we enter the name of the box. This is what's going to appear in the actual catalog, or I'm sorry, in the OBJD, not the catalog. So we can think of this as our project name. Then the second space, well, if we skip over box GID, the second space where it says box SG name, this is what it actually names the project in the scene graph. So it needs to have a unique scene graph name in order to appear separately in the catalog. And then best practice, don't use non-standard characters and don't use underscores. We skipped over the GID because if you just leave that blank, then DBPF Scripter will generate a GUID automatically. So we just leave that like so. So the third box down, the third green box, it says graphic. Here, we're just entering the name, including the file extension, the JPEG or PNG of the graphic that we're using for the accessory box. Then catalog name. This is what appears as the title in the CTSS. So we just give it whatever we want to call it in the catalog. And then the catalog description, we can basically enter the same thing. If you want to add your own little personal note, as I did here, if you want it to do multiple lines, it's best to just write it out on Notepad, copy it, and then paste it into the box here. But we'll look at that later. Then we leave the remove all as it is. If we want a remove all option in the pie menu, we just leave that as true. And if we're using groups, if we have menu groups, then we just leave that as true as well. And then we want to enter the total number of accessories. And if we have the macros enabled correctly, then it's only going to show the lines that we actually need to fill out. Over to the right of that, we have a couple of different fields, gender, and the age groups that get enabled with the accessory. And we can just enable and disable these as we like. You can see, for example, I have on the ones that are available for child, I have child enabled as well, but on the ones that are only for teen to elder, I have child disabled. Then down at the bottom, if we're using menu groups, we can see it's going to do a count of the total groups. We just double check that that count is correct. And once we've edited, we save this as an XSLM, and then we save again as an ODS. That's the format that DBPF Scripter can read. So we need to save it in that format before we close. We close the document and we're ready for DBPF Scripter. To get started, the first thing that we're going to do, we move the meshes, accessories, graphic, and the script to a separate template folder. And we click the template button. We need to point DBPF Scripter to the template folder. For the save folder, we click on the folder where we want DBPF Scripter to save our files. So what I did here, I just created an output folder. And then we need to give our project a name. So in this case, I did Happy Hats Overlay Box. Once we've done all that, we just click Go. DBPF Scripter is going to do its thing. Just let it. Once it's done, if everything is good, you're going to get the little smiley face at the bottom that says that it's run the script correctly. And if not, a cool feature of, I believe it was introduced in 1.6, is that it will automatically find the next error. So if there are errors in your script, you can see where they're at. Okay, so here I have my trusty notepad. I've notated all of the accessories that I'm going to be applying the script to today, and I've notated which ages and genders those are available in. Just like that. I have linked all of these in the resource post. You can grab those if you want to follow along, or you can use your own accessories if you want to do it that way as well. I have my accessories with box template here. And I'm going to go extract all. I'm just going to extract that to a folder within my workshop folder. We open that, we go to, and I'm going to create a new folder here. While I'm still here, I'm just going to call this output. This is where it's going to save once it's run the script. So here we have the XSLM, or XLSM, sorry. We right click on that, we go to properties. Now in this case, I've already enabled the macros. So it's not, I don't have the prompt to enable macros. I think we're good to go. So what happens when I click on this? It appears to be working correctly. We need Party Velvet Hat. And we need MDP's cowboy hat. Oh, and MDP's top hat as well. So we just copy that like that. We go to accessories with box. And we just pop those right in the template. And the other thing that I need, I made my own custom graphic for this workshop. It looks kind of like this. We're just going to grab that graphic, and we're also going to pop that into the template folder. That's everything that we need to get started. So just as we did before, give it a name. I'm leaving the GUID blank because it's going to generate that automatically. Why you don't cooperate? Then, this is the scene graph name. So here, best practice, we make this all lowercase. No weird characters, no underscores. Then the graphic. So for the graphic, the way that I like to do it, we just find the graphic here, we right click, go to rename, but we need to copy it all with the file extension. There, we just paste. Paste in the formula box. And then catalog name. It's going to keep the same. And because I'm using multiple lines, I don't know, for some reason, when I try to enter multiple lines, it just doesn't like to cooperate with me. Sorry, bear with me just a bit. So what I like to do here, I go because num block's on, not on. But this is just an extra step. It doesn't have to be this way. See, then when you paste it, it loops around correctly. We want remove all and remove group included. And this, the first thing where it says name, this is the name of the actual accessory. So let's start with Uncle Sam hat. And here, because we don't, you can add sublevels just by doing this, but I don't really need to do that because it's going to go to the menu group first. So we just go no, it's red and blue first. And then blue and red. Now here we need the package name, including the extension. So we go back here. We find Uncle Sam hat blue red. We just paste that here. Gender is unisex, and we want to disable it for teen. So I'm just going to go false. And I don't think I have teen for any of these, so I'm just going to go all the way down. And we grab the other one. Why you not cooperate? Yeah, we just paste that there. That's Uncle Sam hat. Then let's do MDP top hat. MDP top hat, and here we have black and we have white. And we need to include the extension. Just like that. And then let's do MDP cowboy hat. Does not need a capital. Okay. And that one is black. Yeah, one's off white. And that one's 10. Okay. And then let's do elf hat next. We only have 2 of these. We go elf hat, and then this one is white. This one is green. So we got elf hat, and we're going to do one more. We're going to do velvet party hat. Call that velvet party hat. We've got black, light blue, lime, purple, and red. So here we have a total of 15 accessories. So what we do here is change this to why you don't work. Change this to 15. And see what it did? It just hid all of those lines. So we know the macro is working here. So we've got 5 different accessories. And now, okay, Uncle Sam is elder, adult, young adult, both genders. Okay, so Uncle Sam is good. MDP top hat, both genders. Cowboy hat, both genders. Elf hat is both genders, but the party hat velvet is male only. So here, what we need to do, just change these to male right quick. This feature is super helpful. We just double check that everything is okay. It's looking good. And we just save that as is. So we just click on save. Then we go File, Save As. We click Browse. We get that little window, and then we can change it in the dropdown. So we go Open Document Spreadsheet ODS. We need to save it as an ODS. And Ignore the mother hen warnings, just close those windows. Now that we've saved it as an ODS, we can close. Then we go to DBPF Scripter. Go ahead and open it up. For our template, going to go to my workshop folder. To accessories with box, version 1, accessories with box. No, sorry, that's not quite it. Template. And then for our output, click on this button, and we select the output folder in the same subfolder. And I'm just going to go with the same name, Happy Hats Overlay Box. We click Go. Let DBPF Scripter do its thing. It's saving you all of this work. And if everything went smoothly, if you look down at the bottom here, we get this little finished, this little happy face here. So we can close DBPF Scripter. Okay, so we're finally loaded into game. We have our 2 test sims and the accessory box that we just created. Yeah, we need to make her selectable. Then you can see adult female only has 4 options, but if I move over to Chris, he has 5 options because he has the velvet party hat. So we try the Uncle Sam hat. Why is that not working? So, for some strange reason, my Uncle Sam hat isn't working. But cowboy hat seems to be working. And then when we try remove all, so it takes a little bit longer because it's reading all of the beacons, but it does work. So let's try MDP top hat once more. That we remove for Brenna. And let's have her add the white top hat. Yeah, it just, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't work with every hair mesh just because the way that it's shaped, but the only other option would be to resize it, which would make it look weird. And then let's try elf hat. Elf hat's working. Let's try elf hat green. And then, yeah, there you go. I'm not clear why the original creator, it's Frau Hoffner, only created for males because you could just move the mesh around a little bit and it will work perfectly for females as well. You might need to have him wear a different hair or mess with the mesh a little bit, but it looks cool. And that's pretty much it. That's how you make an accessory box using the DBPF Scripter method.